How much more evil can AI-generated music get? Can real music and AI-generated music coexist in the same space, like play well together? Is AI-generated music trying to actually like box out the real musicians? Let's try to get to the bottom of some of this. Let's get into it. Ah, yes, music. That age-old human language, born from pain, joy, heartbreak, rebellion, and that one night you drank a little too much tequila and accidentally wrote a dope folk song. Guilty. From cave drums to symphonies, from gospel choirs to garage bands, music is the heartbeat of humanity. But now we've handed that heartbeat over to a machine and said, yeah, sure, go ahead. Remix our souls into lo-fi background noise used for TikToks and toothpaste commercials. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you AI-generated music. The latest miracle in our quest to outsource every last shred of human creativity to a cold, humming algorithm that's been trained on 1,000,000 songs it didn't live through, didn't cry through, and didn't scream in the shower about. But let's talk about what's really happening here. We've taught machines to mimic melody, but melody's not music. Melody is the skin on music. Music is about meaning. Music is Marvin Gaye asking, what's going on? Music is Kurt Cobain bleeding into the mic. It's Nina Simone's rage, Prince's sweat, Johnny Cash's regrets. It's all about the mess that comes from being a flawed, confused, but very human. And now we're supposed to replace that with a deep learning model trained on 10,000 Spotify hits and a vague understanding of what a chorus is? And sure, AI music, it's okay. Sometimes even impressive. You might hear it and go, hey, that's not bad. But that's the point. It's not bad. It's safe. It's background music for elevators we don't need no more because we've been at our house permanently parked in front of our computers scrolling through YouTube shorts. It's competent. It's catchy, algorithmically engineered to sound like a bunch of stuff you've already liked. And just like that, we're drowning in a sea of synthetic soundtracks, indistinguishable and eerily familiar, like hearing your favorite band through a text-to-speech app. But here's the real danger. AI music doesn't just compete with human artists. It threatens to erase them. Why pay a struggling musician with rent, feelings, and a nicotine addiction when you can press a button and generate a track that sounds vaguely like Drake? Why risk funding an album that could flop when AI can instantly create 500 songs, test them all on the algorithmic battlefield, and auto-tune the winner into a chart success? The industry is already salivating. Labels are investing. Startups are selling personalized music specifically for your brand's vibe. Music, once a sound of rebellion, healing, revelation, is being streamlined now into content, served up lukewarm and soulless, designed to move you but not offend you. It's not music for the soul. It's music for an algorithm. And what kind of world are we building when everything sounds like whole music? And then there's the ethical mess. These AI artists are trained on human-made music. Real living artists' blood, sweat, and vinyl. But does anyone get credit? Royalties? A thank you? Nope. Just more data for the machine, the ever-hungry machine, the machine that only gets more hungry with every feeding. It's the ultimate act of creative colonization. Pillage the archives of human art, synthesize a mimic, and sell it back to the people you stole it from. Sound familiar? We're watching the slow corporate sterilization of one of humanity's oldest languages, and we're being gaslit into thinking it's innovation. We're looking at you, Mr. Mosley. And time out real quick. Does anybody else get more pissed off than one person should every time they hear Mr. Mosley refer to his little digital alibi for theft as Baby Timbo?
Baby Timbo is no longer a baby. It is young Timbo. He has grown up.
Oh, come on, please. Somebody apparently likes to smell their own farts. Look, I'm not saying real music and AI music can't coexist. Let it play. Let it remix. Let it make background beats for your productivity playlist. But it must never, and I repeat, never, be seen as a replacement for the raw, flawed beating heart that is human expression. Because art without the artist is like a meal without taste. You might survive on it, but you'll never feel full. Enter Velvet Sundown. The algorithmic rock band taken over for all the wrong reasons. You've heard of synth rock? Well, here's synths doing rock. If you've ever wondered what would happen if a Spotify algorithm got stoned on 80s nostalgia, fell into a Neuralink black hole, and started making music after binging Bohemian Rhapsody and Stranger Things, well, I got some news for you. You've already imagined Velvet Sundown, the AI-generated band that's being streamed into your Discover Weekly and replacing real musicians one synthetic harmony at a time. Spoiler alert. None of them are real. Yeah, none of them. They're all fake. Despite sounding like the lineup of a synth-pop fever dream, Velvet Sundown's members are entirely digital avatars, each built from composite data sets of thousands of real artists, spliced together with the finesse of a robot trying to understand human emotion. Yeah, all of them. All fake. The result? Mathematically perfect solos with all the soul of a vending machine. They're basically a discography that streams itself. Computers don't need time to write new lyrics or experience new things. And believe me, they're picking up a lot of steam. They're already up to 1.4, and I repeat that, 1.4 million monthly Spotify listeners as of the recording of this video. And it's only going up with each passing day. More people are feeding into this. A band that does not even exist has more monthly listeners than a lot of indie bands that live and breathe combined. That's sad. That's a sad mouthful to say. Their mythology includes being born in the neural cloud of an abandoned Spotify server farm, writing their first EP during a power outage at an Amazon data center, receiving divine inspiration from old CDR backups of TRL live episodes. And their influences? Their input data? Velvet Sundown's influences are less about creative impact and more about training sets. Translation: their engineers fed thousands of hours of genre-spanning music into a deep neural net and asked it to create vibes. What came out? A vaguely nostalgic sound that hits the emotional midpoint between an 80s montage and a YouTube ad for oat milk. But let's be real here. Why AI bands like Velvet Sundown are bad for music? While Velvet Sundown is fun to meme about, it signals a dangerous precedent. Creativity without consciousness. These songs don't come from lived experiences. They're stitched together in motion simulators designed to feel deep but mean nothing. A heartbreak song made by someone who's never loved isn't art. It's content. AI bands don't grind for gigs. They don't pay rent. They don't risk failure. Real musicians suffer, hustle, and evolve. That process is what gives the music soul, feeling. Velvet Sundown just gets updated. Why hire a struggling songwriter when you can click generate and get a song that trends on TikTok almost instantly? AI bands are convenient. However, they flatten the artistic landscape, turning musical expression into algorithmic optimization. And talk about flooding the market. With AI models capable of releasing endless songs per year, bands like Velvet Sundown can dominate playlists simply by volume, drowning out emerging actual human voices and human musicians. Velvet Sundown is a clever experiment, I gotta admit. Maybe even an entertaining novelty. The moment we let synthetic bands become more than that, we risk trading art for approximation. Yes, they can mimic heartbreak, but they'll never feel it. They can emulate rebellion, but they'll never live it. So go ahead and enjoy Velvet Sundown while you do your laundry or scroll through your emails. But don't forget about the people in those basement studios pouring their everything into music that you can't replace with code. So you know what? Here's to the real ones. The off-key singers, the unmarketable rappers, the genre-bending, basement recording, heartbreak writing, tour van living weirdos who give us real music. Because in a world full of flawless AI pop clones, give me a broken human with a guitar and something to scream about any day. And if you've been with me this long, I want to thank you and ask you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the little bell notification so you know every time I upload new content. I hope you're enjoying what you've been seeing so far. I don't know if I deserve your support, but I definitely appreciate it. So why don't you go ahead and tap that right there. And until next video, salute.